Hello everybody, it's Lisa from Lisa's Crafty Creations, and I've been asked by a good friend of mine to show you from beginning to start what I do with my resin. I'm sorry the angle of the camera is a bit off because I've just come back off holiday and I can't find anything. Somebody's been tidying up and I can't find stands or anything, so if you could just bear with me, I'll try my best to keep everything in camera so that you can see, and let's go from there. So as I said from a previous holiday, I've been away, so this is the first video in a while, or the second video. I've got another one up ready to edit, so we'll see which one hits you first. So today I'm going to be working with a little bit of resin. I've got some bits and bobs to do here. I want to do some necklaces because I've got some lovely flowers in the garden and I want to do those in pendants. So we're going to see how we get on with putting those inside some pendants to see how well they take up. I have done it before and they've been beautiful, so I'm hoping upon hoping that this actually works. So we'll see the results that we get. I know it has worked in the past, but we'll see. Every time you use resin is different. So I've got that to do. I've also planned to do this, and what I've been given is some die cut corners and some die cut flowers or vines. So what I want to do is just make a book cover using those dies. So we're going to see how that works as well. I've also got my micro powders out. I've got I need to make some more cards from the PT Rally order. I was thinking also of doing a dome with the flowers, so we'll see how that works as well. I've got more flower heads I can pick if needs be. I've got my little umbrella. I was thinking of using flowers for that as well, so before long my garden won't have any flowers, they'll all be in resin. I've also got my micro powders out, my inks out, some glitters and things like that. I've got some confetti, small and large confetti pieces. I've got some more die cuts out and some little flowers, and I've also got this lovely gold leaf chain that I intend to use in something to do with resin. So we'll see how it goes from there. Got a little bit of water in there, I don't know where the water's come from. Must be off one of the flowers. Takes this off one of the flowers. Right, so take those out of there, move that up there, and we'll move that to the side because I'm going to show you how you actually mix the resin, or how I mix the resin. Everybody's a little bit different. I have got, this resin is supposed to be weighed. It's 100 grams per 47, but when I did that mix it was very soft and I wasn't happy with it, so I'm going to go 1 part hardener to 2 parts resin. So 100 grams of resin, 50 grams of hardener. And I'm going to do a bigger batch because I've got the cars to do, I've got lots of things I want to do. But I'm going to start off with a 200 gram batch of resin because you've got to work reasonably quickly with it. It wants to harden a little bit if I put any glitter in, because the glitter with this one just pours to the bottom of the mould, like you saw in my last resin video. Pardon me. I've also got my trusty little coffee and my juice, and this is a little scale. This is the Digital Scale Professional Mini. It's a lovely little piece. It goes up to 500 gram. It doesn't have weights with it, but it's a nice little piece. And what you do is you put your container on before you start. You press the on button and it zeros it with the container on. So that's your standard. Oh, hang on, I took it off. So you put that where you want it and press the on button and it zeros it. There we go. So then you have your zero weight. Now I don't put gloves on at this point. I don't put my gloves on until I get to the, because I like to do all the fiddly bits without gloves on. So this is where we start pouring, and we watch the scales until we get to 200 gram. Oh no, it's 661. There's 100, 150, 60, 70, 80. Right, slow it down a bit. There we go. We're actually at 200.4, but that's fine. And then we go for the hardener. Do I push? Yeah. That's it. And then we want 100 gram hardener. This is where you've got to be slow because you don't want to overdo it. So all to all we'll have a 300 gram mix. Six, 8, 9. There we go. And now at 300.7, so that works out quite well. Right, we'll just leave that there because that's what we want. And I'm using the DN Expodix Hard and the DN Expodix Hearts resin. It's not a bad resin, it's not my favourite, but I haven't worked with that much resin to actually really have a favourite, although I did like the craft resin, the last one I had. So then it's just a case of stirring it slowly in. And for some reason I've got some bits in my resin. I don't know what they are, but they need to come out. Now I've got wet wipes somewhere. Where's my wet wipes? I think they're in here. Can't see for looking. Oh, that's it. I've got to put everything back the way I found it, you know. Otherwise I'm in trouble. Right, I've got my wet wipes. I'm just going to wipe off this bit. These bits of whatever. I should have wiped the container out first, really. That's it. And then it's just a case of stirring the resin until it's thoroughly mixed, and that usually takes about 3 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer to 3 minutes. Start. And then we just keep stirring it for that 3 minutes. And this is where it's pretty boring. This is the worst part of resin because it's the most important, because you need to have it well mixed in together to make sure that it does harden. But at the same time it's a very boring process. And then you just stir it slowly, and then that way you're less likely to get bubbles in, because we don't want to whisk it up. I was given some false information off the internet actually, trying to sell you stuff, and I fell for it, and it was to use a hand whisk. Well, it worked in a sense, but only with the resin that was bubble free. And one batch, it was so cloudy with bubbles, but the rest were okay, but I think that was because it was a bubble free resin. So the best thing to do is just stir it slowly. You can use a stirrer. I like my trusty spatula, because I can get everything off the side. Then I can use every little bit of resin that I've got. And I just got this off Wish. It's ideal. I've got one for the kitchen and one for my resin. I use an old jug, and then I've got my little smaller measuring ones to state it off, so that if you're using a colour or anything. But I'm just using clear resin to start with, because I've got a lot of fills, and then I won't colour it until it's time to do the cars, and then I'll put a colour in. And I think I'll use some glitter and some micro powders for that. So as I say, just mix it thoroughly. I don't know where these bits are from. They're annoying. I don't know where they're from. They look like bits of clay. I was playing with polymer clay yesterday, but how it's got into my resin stuff, I don't know. Right, so we just keep stirring this. We've got 28 seconds left, and I'm going to stir it a little bit longer. So I've been away. We went to Scotland for a week, came back for a week, and then I went down to see my mum and dad, because my dad had a fall. And now that I'm being fully vaccinated, and there's been a little bit of lift in the lockdown, I can now go and see my dad. Just going to do another 3 minutes, and then he fell down the stairs. He's got kidney failure, and so I could go visit him now, because he's got kidney failure. He's been shielding, but now he doesn't have to do that. So I was able to go down and visit him, and he's not so good, but at the same time he's better than he has been. My mum finds it hard, because my dad's often in bed, so she's left downstairs quite lonely, so being able to keep her company, which was quite nice. I also saw my sister, because she lives down there, and I've got a twin sister, so I managed to see Julie, and that was lovely. So we went out a couple of times, went out all three of us, and we went out just me and my mum, and we didn't do anything major. We just went down into the street, and we've got it's called Chesley Street, and when you say you're going down the street, you say you're going to the shops. If you're going to town, then you're going to Newcastle. So we went down the street, and we went to Tesco's the first time we went out, and Mum needed a load of grocery shopping, so we got a load of bits and bobs from the shop. And then we went and I treated to a coffee, because she bought some stuff that I wanted, and she just paid for it. So I said, right, well, I'll go and buy the coffee. So we went to a lovely little place in a place called Edmondsley, and it's a garden centre cum cafe, and it's absolutely beautiful there, and they've done a load of work to it, and it's gorgeous. So we've seen it expand over the years. We used to go when it first opened, and now it's huge. But they're very good with the customers who've always been there. They're very friendly. They're a lovely, lovely bunch. And we went there, and that was nice. So we had coffee, and Mum had a fruit scone. I had a brownie. It was very naughty. And then we went back. We did a load of crafty stuff. Mum's, that's why I'm getting all this die cuts from my mum and bits and bobs. she sent me with, or just says you might as well take some of it because she can always die cut it again, whereas I haven't got a die cutter. So we made some lovely cards which I showed you in another video of when I came back and all the things I brought back with me and what I'd bought. And then we went out again later in the week on the Saturday. We all went out together. The last day I was there. My daughters come and they do some cleaning for me mum. They do like a deep clean in the house to help her out, and that's it. So we've had a 6-minute mix there, so that should be well and truly mixed. Yep, so we went out again, went down the street again, got some bits and bobs, went to B&M and Wilko's and Peacocks, and I got all the things I needed and wanted, so that wasn't so bad. Right, so now that that's thoroughly mixed, it's glove time, because this is where we're going to do some pouring, and there's more danger of it going all over you. So you might want to wear, if you've got clothes that you're worried about, you might want to wear a pinny, or something old, so it doesn't matter if the resin spills. 9 times out of 10 my resin spills, but it's all part and parcel of crafting. Always something goes wrong. I'm going to do a video later showing you some of the clay that I did yesterday later on. So right, so first of all we're playing with plain coloured clear resin. So I've got this prepped, so I'm going to do this first. And the front of the mould, when you take it out of the mould and flip it back over, that's actually the top of the mould. So anything you want to put in, you need to put in upside down. So writing wants to go backside forward and that kind of thing. So first of all, clean your mould, make sure it's nice and clean and free from any resin that you've had in the past. If it's clear resin, it'll just mix in, which is fine. So once that's done, dry it off. We don't want any, so it has alcohol, so it will dry fairly quickly. Just have a drink. And then I'm going to put a tiny bit of resin on the base and spread it around. I'm not going to lot because it's not a thick. So I'm just going to spread it around with my trusty spatula. Around the little dots. Remember, we don't want to fill it so that we cover the top of those dots, because they're what makes the holes in to make it into a file. So you can make a nice little either notepad or diary, you know, if you want to make what do they call them? Oh, filofax, if you want to do a filofax. Right, so now I've got a little bit of resin sprayed or sprinkled all over that. I'm going to place the items. So for some reason I wonder whether the alcohol's affecting the resin. A little bit more in, put a touch more in. Right into the corners, the edge. Okay, and then we're going to try not to get any bubbles in, and we're going to place the die cut where you want it, and I want it just there. And then it has something to cling to, but you must make sure you push it down to get rid of some of the bubbles. And this is where trusty tool comes in handy, and I have a little bag full of them. You just want a pointy tool or even a spatula or something. Where is my, there it is, I don't know, it's in, I think it's in there. I think it's in my pencil case because I use it for lots of different things. So I think it's in my pencil case. Trouble is there's so much in this pencil case. There we go. There's my trusty little pointing tool. I must get some more of these. This one I got for quilling, and that's brilliant to use it for anything. So you can push it down and into the resin and get rid of some of those bubbles, so it's nice and secure in the resin. You can actually move it around to make sure it's where you want it. Then we do the same in the opposite corner. Make sure the resin's pushed in and it's where you want it. Then push it down and make sure all those bubbles come through all the holes. And it's all pushed down where you want it, and then you can slide it to the right place. And then we have this one, and I think I want it, it doesn't matter, this is, I think I want it that way around. So push it into the resin and then you can move it. Oh, there, I don't want that in there. That needs to come out. Part of the die cut that hasn't come out, so good to check your die cuts, make sure all the bits are out, otherwise you're going to get and end up with bits you don't want. Then just secure it into the resin and move it where you want it. Slow that down a little bit. There we go. And then, as I say, push it down into the resin so there's no bubbles. And I find you get less bubbles doing it this way than you do if you place it on once you've filled, or if you place it on first. Then you just pour the resin over the top. It may move, but you've got your trusty tool there to whoops, put it where you want it. And then you just fill it slowly until it's got resin in all the corners and it comes up to the edge of your mould. Right. Then, using your trusty tool, just push your dies and push them where you want them and push them into the resin, and then again that's checking for bubbles. That's it. And put it where you want it, and the same with the one in the middle. And then that's done. Now I've got my board, and this one wobbles around a lot, so I use my where is it? I've got another board somewhere that I use. There it is. No. See, I've tidied up, I put stuff away and I don't know where on earth it's all gone. I don't know whether I've put it away. I'll use me I'll use a cutting board. Oh, let's see. I found it. So then we want to push that onto the board that it's going to stay on. In fact, we'll just leave that there. Push that onto my table. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try this little globe. I've never done it before. So we're going to try this, and I'm going to put in one of the bigger flowers. So I'm going to cut it. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in that hole there. No, I'm going to put it in first this time round. cut the stem off at the top and put it in where I want it, and then I'm going to pour the resin in. Well, actually no, I'm not. Change that, completely alter that plan. I'm going to put some resin in the bottom first, just a little bit, because we don't want it to overflow when we push the flower. Then I'm going to push the flower into the resin, and I'm going to get my pointy tool and just move the petals around slightly so they're where I want them to be. And I want them to come up the side of the dome. And then let it relax. And then add in some more resin. And then this is where you put the top on. You place the top on. And then you slowly, have I got me pink? I've got a better squidger than this. Then you slowly fill it back up with resin. This is going to take ages. Trying not to get any bubbles in. Right, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and pour it into that hole. Get it slow enough. There we go. And just pour it into that hole. The flower may rise up a little bit, but that's fine. And we come right to the top. Hopefully the bubbles will come with it and come out the top of the dome. Now we don't want to come out all together. I want my trusty pointer tool. Oops, scraping any resin that's out, and then go around the top. A bit more resin in. That's it. And then you can push it down a little bit more. To where you want it. Oh, that was clever. That flower inside the dome. I'm just gonna, can't lift it, it'll have to stay like that. So this is what I mean by accidents happen. I'm just going to move him out the way and clean up that bit of resin, fill him back up again and just not touch it. Just move it to the side and let the flower go wherever it wants. That's going to be the best option. My bin's miles away, as per usual. Somebody's been using my bin and it is everywhere it shouldn't be. So I will go get that bin. It's just round here. And it's full. Typical. It's not full enough though, so I'll just put it all down there and right, so that's that done. Now let's go for some of these pendants. I'll go get some more flowers. Let's see, what should we get? I'll get some from out here. So we're just doing 3, so we're going to do, I think we'll do a dome, like a circle for one of them, and I want it a reasonably tight fit, using my trusty pointy tool. Push it in. I want a reasonably tight fit. Again, I'm going to put a little bit of resin in the bottom, just a touch. Then I'm going to push the flower into that. Lay it on top of that and then fill it back up. Make sure the resin's gone all over the flower and down the sides of it. There's no air bubbles. And then leave that as like that. Then we've got this big daisy. It's actually a marigold, I think. That's too big for that, so we're going to have to think of something else. It might have been better if I put that into the dome. So we'll leave that for now. We'll make a, I've got a small heart. We'll make a small heart with this red one. So a little bit of resin in. Place your flower where you want it. Then we want to cut the stem and then place the resin again on top and just give the flower a little push. Make sure it's got everything in, it's where you want it, and then that's it. So that's all we're doing with that. I'm trying to think what I've got that I can do the daisy with, but I don't think I've got anything because I'm using this mould here for something else which I haven't told you about yet. I'll do that now because it's all clear resin. Right, so what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to move this out the way a little bit and move that up where we're going to, tell you what, carefully pick this guy up, bring it over here. See, I'm going to wait and top that up right at the end. So we'll move that up there, move that right to the edge, move that up there because we might use that to use some bits up. Move him over there. Clean up any bits of resin that's from the edge of that one. Don't know if I actually like that mould, it leaks a little bit too much. Right, and then I'm going to use this. Now what this is for is a PT rally. PT is the PT Cruiser, and they have a picnic come rally every year. And my sister has a PT Cruiser and she's asked whether I'd do some bits and bobs that she can either sell or give to the guys at the PT picnic on the Saturday of the rally. And so what I'm doing is I've got some pictures of some of the cars and I've printed them out and I've put on in silver letters PT, P for PT picnic, and 2021. And we're just going to put that into a plain coaster mould. So again, we're going to use a little bit of the resin to start with. Hopefully we've got enough resin for this. Then we're going to put this in. Doesn't matter which way around it goes because it's round. So we're just going to put that in there. It will fit because I measured it. I think it's because the resin's forcing it. Resin. There's my little pointer tool. So then we're going to push it under, force it down. so that it's at least, that's it. At least level. Maybe with this it would have been best just to put it down, but I was frightened. Sometimes you don't get a coating of resin on the top of the picture. It doesn't go, when it fills the mould like this, it doesn't actually go underneath. So what I want is some resin underneath the picture, you see, and then some resin on the top. So it's just a case of gently pushing it down so that it's even. And you have an even amount of resin, and the picture's not buckled in any way. There's no air bubbles underneath, because air bubbles are your worst enemy in resin, because when it sets you've just got a hole. And when you're using clear resin it's not so bad, because you can fill it and you hardly know it's there. But with coloured resin it's horrible, because you've got to then try and match the colour or sand the air bubble out, and depending on what you're doing it's not always easy to sand the air bubble out. There we go, so that's that done. So we've got that securely in there. So then we're just going to fill it up to the brim. We want it right the way up to the edge of the mould, but not coming over. And I think I've about got it there. So what I'm going to do now is just go around the edge, because there's a few air bubbles in there. Just go around the edge, get rid of the air bubbles. Push it down once more. And then that's that done. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this into the kitchen without trying to spill anything, which is what usually happens. Something comes, oh, I'm going to top that up first. There we go. So that's right. Then we get the bottom board. And we move it gently where we want it. Right, so we'll see how they turn out. That won't set until probably tomorrow, so that's that. Right, so then what I'm going to do is I've got a little bit in there, so what I'm going to do is put it on my scales again. Where have I put them? Scales, there they are, the wet wipes. So I'm going to put it on my scales again. Remember, it'll zero it out, so whatever resin's left in there will just be zeroed. There's only a tiny bit in. I'm going to press the on button, and then I'm going to do another 100, well, I'm going to do another 200 grams because I've got those carves to do, and we'll see. Right, there we go. Ooh, we've actually got 206, so we need 103 of the dribble it in. We want 103, don't we? So, hang on, it was what, 206, so we want 309 altogether. There we go. A little bit extra hardener in there, it's not going to matter, so that just goes back in the box and we put it out the way so there's no resin on it. And then we start the timer again. And I keep forgetting it won't work. I'm just going to set it for 6 minutes because that was a lovely mix last time. And we start stirring again. Now this time I'm going to add colour, but you don't add your colour until you've got your resin thoroughly mixed. And again, it's a slow process. You just slowly turn it round, and it looks cloudy at first, but then it'll go clear. And once it goes clear, it's usually ready to work. It was a nice clear resin the last time, so this time I'm going to mainly concentrate on the cars. Now I want 2 different colours. I want purple. Well, I've got 4 cars. I don't know whether I've got 4 or 2, but I'm going to do at least 2 colours, purple and red. And then once they're out, I'm going to put a flame. I don't think I'll be able to paint a flame on. I could try paint it on with some resin, because a lot of the PT cars have flames over them. They're all very fancy, but I don't know whether I'm going to do that afterwards or now. I think I'll do it after. It's the best bet. Although I'll try the flames. I'll just add some red and orange pigment powder on the edge of on the mould itself, and then hopefully it'll look like flames along the side of it. It won't just look like a bodged job. You can see it's starting to clear when we're coming up to the 3 minutes. I'm daft. It's absolutely gorgeous weather down here. Oh, he is breathing. I thought my dog had died then. He's laid flat out in the yard. And I thought all of a sudden then he wasn't breathing, but he is. He's enjoying the sun. So as I was saying, it's a lovely day out there. I could be outside enjoying the sun and I'm in here doing resin. What am I like? I'm useless. To be honest, I don't really enjoy sitting out in the sun unless I'm busy doing something. And my hands are sore and I didn't fancy doing anything that intricate. My crocheting I left at my mum's by accident, so I haven't got that to do. And as I say, I'd only be able to do not even a row. I try and make myself use a ball of wool because they're only 50-gram balls and it's chunky and it goes really quickly. So I'm trying to use a ball of wool up with every time I start crocheting. It's not always easy, but my hands are sore at the moment, so I don't know whether I'll be able to manage that. And as I say, it's at my mum's, so I can't do it. There's my needlework. I could probably get away with doing some of my needlework, but again, the pinching of the needle and the action of your wrist can be really painful, so that's not always easy to do. I did finish one of the little projects from Easy Whim that I was doing, and I've also finished, I've also started the fox. I did some of the butterfly while I was on holiday, the butterfly cross stitch I've got. One of the, I'll have to do what they call a floss tube one of these days to show you all the yarn work I've been doing, so with cross stitch, black work, all needleworks, and then the crocheting, and I've even got some knitting, a knitting whip that I haven't started for ages. I've got a couple of knitting whips actually that need finishing. So I'll have to show you one of those these days. I love knitting. I always used to knit. It was funny when I was a teenager. It was a case of, oh, you going out? No, I'm going to stay at home and do my knitting. I was only 18. And everybody like, you coming out with us? We're going such and such. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to sit at home and do my knitting. I've always preferred craft over doing physical activity, although I did enjoy like walking. We used to walk a lot. I used to swim every week. I played badminton every week. In between that, we used to often go for a walk with my friend's dog. You know, we're very, very active. Yeah, I did do a lot of crafting. I tried painting. I'm not a very good painter. My sister's an okay painter. I draw a little bit, but I got taught to draw from the person I'm doing this video for. She taught me how to put a bit of character into the things I'm drawing, give them a bit of life, and I still draw the chicken she taught me to draw now. So I used to draw little pictures for the kids and things like that, and I'm a copyist. I like to copy work. If I've got a picture to see, then I can copy it. I find it difficult to think of things to actually draw. So yeah, this is nearly done now. I'll have another drink. It's so warm. You have to keep yourself hydrated in this heat, guys. Keep yourself hydrated. There we go. Oh, I don't want to repeat it. I press repeat instead of stop. Right, so that's ready now. So what I'm going to do, rather than put lots of colour into the main jug, because obviously I want different colours. It's got resin in it. Make sure all the bits of resin are off, especially the cars. I've only got two. I've got 2 cars that I'm going to do. So as I say, they're clear of resin, so that's all right. What I'm going to do is do one in purple and one in red, and I'm going to try and is it hot now? I'll just use this one. What I'm going to do is try to paint on some fiery bits on one of them. So I've got my micro powders here, and we're going to do a rose red and we're going to do a purple. And we want some orange out and a little bit of yellow for the flames. So I'm just going to dip. Oh no, the red's going to go on. The red's going to go on in the dye. So we're just going to dip it in a little bit of orange and paint it on the side. And hopefully I'll add a little bit of yellow. This paintbrush isn't the best because it's very hard. What I'll do is I'll use my trusty tool. No, it's not going to work. Use me. Right, let's see how that works. I've got some on the roof as well. Right. So we're going to pour a little bit of, we're going to fill this up with resin, just enough so that we can stir it. And then we're going to add some red pigment powder. So we add the pigment powder, and then I'll get one of these stirrers out of here. And then just stir that into the resin. It needs a thorough stir because it makes sure all the micro powder's mixed in. This one has a slightly pearlized look to it, which all these micro powders seem to have. Got like a metallic shimmer to them. Right, I think that's thoroughly stirred. And then I'm going to pour in, slowly pour in so it's all over. Oh, no. Right, so not quite full. So what I'm going to do is actually, instead of mixing some more, because I've no idea how much red I actually put in there, make sure it's fully cleared out. So as I say, I'm not sure how much red I actually put in there. And this is where I got the resin on my clothes. I am going to just add some clear resin to that and then mix it with the little stirrer. So just top it up with clear resin. And stir it around while it's in the mould. So you don't want to overfill your mould. Just stir that around. There's quite a few bubbles. I often find there's quite a few bubbles on this mould for some reason. And as long as they're on the bottom, I don't really care, because I can sand them out. Right, and just fill it up a bit more. There we go. And then that's that full. Okay. So that's that done, that's that one. Oh, there's my timer off again. We'll press stop this time. So that's that. Now I'm just going to mix the rest in purple, because then I can use it for other things. I'm not bothered. I've not got anything else major planned. So, oh dear, this is going to be difficult. That's the trouble with this mould. I should have put it on a board first. I'll go get a board. It's a very, very floppy mould. So there's a lot of movement with it. It's not firm, because it's ultimately sitting on the roofs of the cars, and there's no stabilising on this mould. Just put it all back in there. Get in. Whoa. Should have put it on the board first. Right, now that it's on the board, we'll scoop and pour that resin back into there. Position it. Whoa, it's doing it again. And we need to, right, So because it's sitting on the roof of the car, it's a very wobbly mould and there's no stabilisers. What I might do is actually glue something on it to make it more stable. Because this is ridiculous, I am gonna, when I give feedback for buying this mould, I am gonna say that on the feedback. Now it's just a cheap mould, it wasn't anything, I think I bought it from Amazon actually, so I might just complete, whoa, nearly struck that. So then I can just put that, that's come out, back in, and we're back to a full mould, just about. But I'm not going to worry about that a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to just dry my hands a bit with that. And get some other wet wipes out just to get the resin off my fingers and clean this mould up a little bit. And the board. So when you move it, we're going to have to be really careful because I think it's still going to be very wobbly for all it's on the board. Now I'm going to spin it round slowly. Because I need a new glove. And I just so happen to have one here. Because I've had my nails done, you see. Had my nails done. Then we just put a new glove on, and then we okay, these are too big, but it's because my hands are all hot from the last glove. That'll do. Right. So, purple. We're just going to put the purple in this one now. I want a nice deep purple, so we're going to put a reasonable amount of dye in there. Oh, my fingers are coming out with this one as well. Just put it and give it a good mix. That's a lovely colour. That's it, it's nice and mixed. And then we're going to add that to this one. And we've got plenty in there, so there we go. So that's nice and full. So I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't want it to spill. So we slowly walk to where we want it to go to set. I've had a bit of a spillage in the main compartment. I've had a bit of a spillage in there. I'm sure that bench in the kitchen's not straight. Get another jug and clean this resin up. Now that that mess is cleaned up, we're just going to use up some of this resin. And I've got a couple of molds I want to use. One of them is this little umbrella. I'm just wondering whether... No. One of them is this little umbrella. I don't know whether I'll do it or not. It's a very difficult mold to use. with it being so small, but it comes out quite nice in the end. Now try it. So basically all you do is put a little, that looks like it's coming, no, you put a little bit of resin in there, and I reckon it's about half full. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a wet wipe underneath, ready to catch the spillages, because then what you have to do is push that inside there. No, that's not enough. I know that's not enough. So we're going to add a bit more. Right, and then we're going to push that no, still want more. Not quite enough. There we go. Wish to give you instructions on how much to go in, how much, you know, like how much resin you add to it, whether it's a, there we go, that's better, whether it's a 50-gram mould or a, you know. So that's my little umbrella, and I've got the bottom somewhere. Where did I put the bottom half of this? Oh, there. So then we've got the bottom half of it. Now with this, you put a little bit, we'll get that, you pour a little bit into the actual mould this side. There. Then you slide that in the top, like so. Make sure it fits tight and it's right at the bottom, and you put it up, and then you fill, actually wrong side, never mind, you fill the gap. There we go. There you go, that's that done. And then you just slide that down. Well, I'm quite pleased we did that without hardly any spillages. Right now we've got some little, I'm going to have to get some more moulds out. We've got some little, that I've never made before. So I'm going to have a go at these. Woo! Come on. That's it. So that's that one done. See what else I've got. Oh, what's that? Oh, I've got my fairies to do. Where are my fairies? I've got my fairies to do. Right, I found some more little bits and bobs that we can just use up and make some jewellery with. I'm going to do my fairies first. And just put a drop in the middle of the mould, because then we can move it around, so don't put too much in. Ooh, I think I put a bit too much in that one, but we're going to see, because it needs to spread and move into all its components. There's a little bit too much resin on there. Excuse me. That's it. A little bit. That's it. So that's my little fairy mould. Now I'm going to do these first, because I want some bigger ones of these. A bit dusty. Let's clean the dust out with that. I'm going to be editing videos today as well. So that's those three done. And then we're going to fill these up. Woo! Oh, still got some left. What else have I got? Oh, do that. One of them. Right, I've got some more pendant pieces, but I think I'll have a go at this peacock first. Take the hair off it, and there's a bit of some. Right. Well, this is very detailed, this peacock, it's lovely. I haven't added anything to these either, have I? I was going to put some glitter in, but I haven't. Ow, I've just stabbed myself with my pointy tool. There we go. Oh, that hurts. So that's the peacock done. Got a couple of bubbles in those ones. We just all of them. What else did I bring? Oh, I brought this. So let's be adventurous and let's put in, oh, I've got some in here. Oh. Let's put in some glitter. Tell you what, no, we'll go for a different colour. Let's put in some turquoisey glitter. So that sometimes when you add a different colour brings out some beautiful, beautiful, now it's a bit thicker as well, so hopefully the glitter should. Oh, there's a star gone in there as well. What's that star doing in there? Get out. Although I might put him in the middle of there. They won't see him. We'll see. More glitter. More glitter. Let's not be stingy. In fact, just let's all finish that one off. Okay, a little pot from the other. Let's see. There we go, let's mix that in nice. Let's get it all off the... Make sure it's all inside the resin and not on spoons and things. Right, let's make some of these. A shake on today, so I'm getting resin everywhere. Oops. This one's full as well, but I need another one. More moulds, more moulds, more moulds. I don't think I'll have enough for that, but we'll give it a go. I might just do one of those. I don't think I've got enough left though. Right, we've got a choice. Let's have a look. No, we've not got enough for that. But we may have enough for a little teddy. Yeah, we've got enough for a teddy with bits left over. So let's have a look at this teddy. No, we're not going to have enough for this teddy, but we'll give him a go. You never know. Resin sometimes goes a lot further than you expect it to. You know, we might. And that's it, all the resin used up, and we've got some nice little pieces here in purple. So now I just need to find something to put them on. I think it'll fit on this board here, yeah. So I'll not video me taking them out of that board, and I won't let you watch me tidy up. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've got something from this and you've enjoyed it, and I've been able to show you the starts and finishes of resin. What I'll do tomorrow is I'll video this on moulding and we can see how it's all turned out. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time, guys. Oh, before I go, if you would like to join my little team then and you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to do so, and don't forget to hit the like button and the bell to be notified whenever I do a video, which at the minute is a bit sporadic, a bit all over the place. But if you've been before, thank you so much for watching again, putting up with my banter and my mistakes, and I hope you've enjoyed it and got something out of it. If you've got any hints and tips for what I've done, then you're more than welcome to let me know, as long as you please be polite and respectful, but honest as well. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Please remember to pass on a smile if you get the opportunity to. And these days you have to do it with your eyes, so it's an extra special smile. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.